Welcome to your Sunday night Oh So Spurs podcast, the weekly roundup of what's been going on from a couple of people who are going to focus on only the stuff that's really true. No histrionics or made up transfer rumours for clicks today. Apart from, I think in my title, I might have to think about Savinho being close, but maybe he is. I don't know, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've been able to watch the game again just so I've relived it twice and a nice sleep last night. So good morning to everyone on my side of the world and good evening to everyone on your side of the world, Jim. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. Yeah, well, look, we're top of the league, technically. And it's been a much better start to the season than expected. And it's a long bank holiday weekend.
Hey.
So, yeah, no work tomorrow for me. And like you said, just a good morning, afternoon, and evening to everyone tuning in, depending on where you are. Before we kick off, Joe, just quickly say hi to who's in the chat. Hey to Sean. Good evening to you, my friend. Kamal, good to see you. I know you were on the OSO International episode as well. The guys are here. Nice to meet you, mate. Rossi boy, good to see you as always. Yeah, we'll discuss this. It doesn't look like Paz is coming anyway. He just released a statement to say that he wants to stay at Como, and he's got a 10 million euro release clause, by the way, to Real Madrid next season. That's valid. So if you're him, you're probably going to wait and see if Real Madrid activate that, right? Before you join Spurs. We ate Ehad City for lunch. We sure did.
Way.
Nidge, good evening. Good evening, Sean the Gooner Slayer. How are you, my friend? Good to see you, mate. Mr. Cornwell. Shout out to Phil, actually, Joe. He's been there since like day one. And Johnny was adamant he was the actual famous Phil Cornwell and was absolutely buzzing when he joined the chat. But still, we got an even better Phil in this Cornwell anyway.
Am I not English enough to know who the actual Phil Cornwell is?
I think you're just too young.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same age as you.
Yeah, exactly. I had to Google him as well because Johnny was so buzzing, and it was more his generation. Because the real Phil Cornwell is doesn't even. He was acting in the 80s mostly by the looks of it. So
yeah,
there you go.
Berlin Wall's still up, so before my time.
Joe, where do you want to start tonight? There's quite a lot has happened. There's been a lot of good, and there's been a lot of interesting. And there's still quite a lot that could potentially happen over the next week. I think we've got a big week ahead. Should we start with the past before we start with the future? What's just happened?
Start with the past, I think. Yeah, let's get the past out of the way.
Did that win against City? Were you shocked, or were you just kind of like I've never thought we were as bad as everyone made out. I've always thought we were a top 6 side, even without signing anyone else right now. And anything was possible at the Etihad. But what about you? How did you feel about the game, performance, the win, the lineup, all that stuff?
I guess part of me was shocked. We always do well against City. Even if we don't play that well, we normally get a result or things are interesting at least. But the shocking part was how comfortable most of the game seemed. Even when there was the sort of early part where I guess they had the better chances early on. There was pretty much that Marmoush chance where Vic saved it, and then the kind of shot across the goal would have been a hard finish, but they had a couple of chances. Like Harlan missed a header, but how comfortable it was with the PSG game happening and the Burnley game happening, and sort of understanding where we're at and how sort of solid we're getting. Especially with the sort of first choice back line that is now. I wasn't surprised that we could do it, but to actually do it so comfortably was crazy, really. It's really good signs going forward because that's the start of this. Normally, like you get the new manager bounce sort of situation, but this one kind of feels a bit different because it's very sort of structured and comfortable. Normally, it's just vibes that gets the new manager bounce. But this seems like we're setting up a foundation that's really strong, and then we can build on that. What do you think? How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, like I really think we're so much better. I think last season scarred people. Like when you look back at the squad we had in the year before last, it was significantly weaker. Like just if you go back last year, you still didn't start the season with Danso. He didn't start the season with Takai. I know he's injured. Spence was not who he is now remotely. Gray and Bergvall weren't who they are now. We didn't have Kudus. We didn't have Paulinia. We didn't have a backup keeper in Kinski. Like even last year, I think the squad was miles weaker. Go back another year further than that, and it was infinitely weaker. And we still came 5th under Ange in that season. So I just felt like we'd let that extreme season of injuries and not enough squad depth and, you know, whether it was Ange's tactics, whatever your view is, we let the extremes of that season almost bring our like expectations down of this squad, which has actually been getting consistently stronger every 6 months and every transfer window. We started to kind of convince ourselves that it had gotten worse over the last 3 years. It's gotten way better.
It has. And it's gotten a lot better.
In my head, if I look at the top 4 and I go, look, we're miles off Liverpool, right? There's no point in having that conversation. But if you look at the rest of the teams in the top 4, I think Romero, Van der Ven, Spence, Porro, and Bentancur all are in a shout of starting in those sides. Not all of them in every side, but all of them have got a shot at starting in more than one of those sides individually. Mm-hmm. And then I think Udogi's a fantastic player. I don't think Vicaria is bad. I think Slanky and Richarlison are good. I think Johnson's good. I think Kudus is great. Anyway, the list goes on. I just like, to me, this squad's it's a top 6, it's a top 5. To me, it's the 5th best squad in the league. It's the 5th best squad in the league that if you add a couple more senior players is suddenly in a conversation for finishing in the top 4. And City have had to overhaul their squad. Their midfield, as someone said in the comments earlier, is, I think Kamal said, it's slow. Rodri's not fully back yet. You know, we beat them 4-0 last year with Dragusin and Davies at centre-back. Like, they're beatable at the Etihad. And what I liked about this one, though, was it was more of a measured win. It was just like, it felt a bit more deliberate, if that's the right word. I know you wasn't deliberately people, but it felt a bit less chaotic. So, yeah, no, I really wasn't that surprised. I think this is going to be a year where if we don't get these signings in this summer, we will drop off massively at January and end up 5th or 6th and go, we could have been 3rd or 4th. But if we get 2 or 3 more in, we could be 3rd or 4th. That's what's quite exciting, and challenge for a trophy on the side. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was a really good performance, though. And Richie, the old thing, is like a new signing, right? So he's been amazing. Yeah.
It has been such a Rich. I mean, maybe it's the system. Maybe it's that he's finally got a run of health and had a proper pre-season. But Richie was like a new man, and he's just been unbelievable. But you're completely right. Just when you said that the squad compared to the other squads sort of outside the predicted top 4 this year, I think that most people's predictions are the standard old school top 4 switching out the Manchester clubs. There isn't, like, Villa have maybe 1 or 2 players, 3 that would sort of come into our squad. Newcastle have pretty much the same amount. Gordon and Gimires, Tonali, like that's. But across, like, sort of, I think our floor is a lot higher than those clubs. And we've got Kula and Madison out as well, and Udogi out. And I mean, our back line is stronger than all of them. Probably stronger than Chelsea's. I mean, Liverpool are 1 injury away, but I guess we probably have more depth in the back line than Liverpool do.
Yeah.
It's pretty much only Arsenal that's probably
Arsenal
got 4,000 centre backs, so of course they're going to have a better back line.
Yeah, and I'd like to think in 2 years' time, if we keep adding 5 players every summer, we'll be in that position as well. So shout out to Robert. Thank you very much for the super thank, whatever we want to call those things. But anyway, thank you for supporting the show, Robert. Saar performance proves why we need to give Kinski, Vuskovic, Takai, Phillips, Gray, Berryvale, Divine, Donnelly, Odebertel more Lancashire time. Agree, Robert, and I'll caveat that with some of them need loans, and a lot of them are getting loans, and some of them need patience and time. And Saar is one that, you know, admittedly, I was saying, give this guy a loan. He's got such a good ceiling, but he's not going to get the minutes here. But he's forced himself into the side beautifully every single time. And every manager has said the same thing, that he impresses them so much they can't ignore him. What really I liked about the City game, though, of Saar, was he's gone from just being like this player everyone goes, wow, he runs so much. Wow, he runs so much to no, he's just really good at football and he runs a lot. But he's becoming, and when JJ said it, I had to almost think like, that's a mad comparison. He said there's a bit of Dele Alli about his runs. I was like, what? No, not size. I was thinking about that. Actually, he did. He had that really good run as well forward where he missed the header, where it was just too high from him and it bounced over his head. And he's contributing so much going forward. Whereas before, I think we saw him as a bit of a sideways powerhouse. Now he's a forward, backwards, and sideways powerhouse in that midfield. He's got tons of potential to be something very special in the midfield. Anyway, yeah.
He got there's been glimpses for the past sort of 2 years. I mean, even this season of the all-round play, like pre-season, he made those runs against I can't remember if it was the Reading or the Wickham, whoever it was we played. He made those runs in to score. He played Johnson through against Burnley with a nice through ball. He's shown glimpses of all the different attributes of being a really high-end midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he hasn't really shown too much that sort of tight control, from my memory anyway, sort of that turning in space, the Busquets sort of style midfielder, or the Bentancur, really how he sort of takes the ball in. But yeah, I find him really interesting to what's going to happen if we do bring a 10 in and what happens with the midfield, because in games like this, the Bentancur Polina midfield is such a strong midfield. I thought Bentancur was amazing and Polina gave him the sort of the the pedestal maybe to do that, or the platform. That's the one, platform to do that, sort of running around, bringing the ball, taking the ball, moving it on. So Sarr, does he move back, or is it depending on the game state or the game itself, who we're playing? It's really interesting where Sarr's role is going to be if we do bring in sort of another creative guy. Kulu comes back, but yeah, he was great. And I mean, everyone's sort of talking about how good he is, and he's starting to get recognition outside of. I think the Europa League final was when he started to get recognition outside of Spurs, and this year he's just gone on to be, or started to be. I don't know. Dele Alli is a comparison in terms of going forward, but he does a lot more than Dele did. He didn't do flicks over the shoulder and spins and finishes like Dele did, or little chips over the goalkeeper. But pretty much every goal we've scored so far, the 5 goals in the 2 games we've scored, he's been involved somewhere. Got involved both of those goals. Flick onto Richie. He pressed to win the ball back for the second goal. Played Johnson through for the third. I think he played for the first goal against Burnley. He played to Kudus.
Yeah.
I can't remember the second goal if he was involved. Or everyone touched the ball in the second goal against Burnley. So we'll just ask, is Sarr's passing good enough? I think he shows that he can do the killer passes. He's definitely shown he can do them. Maybe it's just that sort of little hopping around thing that we haven't really seen. But how he's done and how he's developing. He's 22, isn't he? Is that how old he is?
24. I think he's 23 or 24 now, isn't he?
Anyway, he's got so much time to become, like, he's 6 years off his peak.
Oh, he's 22.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he is. I thought he was 23, 24. He really is young.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, you think like Jamie Donnelly's not much younger than him. And we look at players like that and we go, you're almost like a generational type player than that. And Sarr's only, 2 years older. And Sarr's been, holding his own in the Premier League for 3 years now? And just going from strength to strength. It's a phenomenal player. And I think often when this kind of brings back to the whole, we need experience. We need those kind of players. Like, you don't need experience based on age. You don't even need experience. You need quality. You need players who improve your first team. It doesn't matter if they're 18 and it's their first game in the Premier League, or if they're 34 and it's their 300th. It's more about, does that player have an attribute that you need and that makes you better? Yes or no? Because at Spurs, we're not a club who can just go and buy perfectly rounded finish articles because they're at City, they're at PSG, they're at Liverpool. They're already there.
Yep.
So we either nurture someone into that and keep them for a couple of years as a bonus, or we find players who have standout strengths and you combine them with other players. A bit like Paulinho, I think is a good example. Like, we've got our 6th ball winner. We couldn't get one who's also a creator, but that's fine. He now gives Bentancur and Porro a platform to create better. And he's made our side so much better. He's a brilliant player. So, yeah. What do you make of Johnson, by the way? As always, he's divided the room in every way. Possibly, arguably, won us the game. But he's still...
We still would have won if we hadn't scored the second, so I guess he did. He's just... I mean, I've said this after the game too, but he just scores goals, and that's what we want. So he also is... I think he's an enjoyable character to around. Did you see James Madison's video that he made of the tour?
I didn't see that.
So he made a video where basically behind the scenes of the pre-season tour, and Johnson features in a lot. They're obviously good friends, and he seems like a fun guy. So is Archie Gray, actually. But I reckon he talks so much smack to the other players on the field too. I reckon he really gets in people's... I reckon he's sneaky like that too. So and yeah, he just keeps scoring, and his finishing is so good. His positioning is so good. He maybe can't beat players. He maybe can't really make the killer pass, and it's going to be hard for him to get assists on the left-hand side because he's right-footed, and getting that byline and stuff like that and cutting it back is going to be tricky for him. But that sort of inverted run that he makes and finishes shots, and the way that Richie and Solanke can run, the way Kudus can run, they're going to pull them apart, especially with Sarr pushing up there too. We had basically man on man against their back four, and Johnson can outrun Rico Lewis, but he can outrun a lot of people in the league. And if we get in the ball behind, he's always going to be there to tap it in. So it's going to be hard to get him out of the team. I know Deej said this after the game, but he's suited for some games like City where we can get him behind, but he got him behind Burnley too. So I don't know.
Like, I've heard everyone remembers that opportunity to pass they didn't take. And I feel like with Johnson, everyone's got photographic memory of what he does wrong. But in a game, we've all got access to the tools. Go now and just look at just the highlights of a specific player from that game. Let's just take his equivalent on the right, and Kudus. He made several bad passes. He had 3 that just completely ballooned over the goal and just went to absolutely no one. That were great opportunities, completely wasted. He also messed up a couple of runs, but he still had a brilliant game. Still an excellent player. And I think people are more forgiving of other players. Because Johnson's just so frustrating to watch, because I find he gets himself in when he gets himself in position, he gets himself in an excellent position. So when he doesn't execute on it, it's way more frustrating. Whereas Kudus might beat 2 men and you're like, whoa, here we go, and get himself into a dangerous position and then mess it up. You're like, oh, I'm still so impressed with how he got himself in that position. Whereas Johnson gets himself in position from it's boring, but Harry Kane was a master of it, just knowing where to stand at the perfect time, every single time. And he is outstanding at it. And as a result, he gets into 20 plus goal contributions every time with us. And he's not our answer to left wing long term. He's not our starting left winger. He shouldn't be. But I think we're bloody lucky to have him in the squad. I think he's going to be a really important squad player for us this season and beyond. Almost a better comparison, I think, it's like someone like Solskjaer, who you can just, if you bring him on off the bench, he's capable of just scoring something from nothing. And it's not going to be from a step over or a 40-yard screamer. It's going to be from being in the box in the right spot at the right time and a good finish first time. That's what he's all about. But yeah, I quite like him.
I was going to say like Richie, but then because Richie bundles a lot of balls into the goal, but then he also scores bicycle kicks. So maybe not like Richie. I wonder if for Johnson it was that the people pointed out early on that his weaknesses in his game but that was coincided with when we were having all the injuries and things were sort of the most chaotic last season. And I think just with human beings, when if someone jumps on something and then it makes it easy for other people to jump on it, he became that easy target that people wouldn't be putting themselves out there to get hate if they hated him. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think maybe he's coincided with that timing and that he's just an easy target and people are just like, well, we can hate Johnson and we're not going to get people in our comments saying that we're stupid or anything like that. So
yeah, I think that's a bit.
Maybe
of that,
that's
you're
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, no player in our team is perfect. And we just expect Johnson to be perfect, but no one else really gets the criticism. I was thinking about Romero in terms of comparison. And I guess Romero's is sometimes he takes his, I think I said this last time, I'll say it again, foot off the boil.
Yeah.
That's not the right way to say it, but we'll make it mainstream. Yeah, we'll make it mainstream. But his sort of criticism by the mass media is that he's reckless. But all Spurs fans defend him that he's not. He's just not. Like when he gave away that yellow card that wasn't a yellow card against City, the commentators were like, "Oh, it's classic Romero. He's just lives on the edge and is reckless," but he's just not.
And they were like, "Oh, you'll never see that again. Romero breaking up a fight." I was like, "What are you talking about?" You can tell these commentators watch us on such a, inconsistent basis. They just have no idea of what he really is like as a player or as a person. And he's not actually had many red cards either. He went through a stage of getting quite a few yellows, but yeah,
his disciplinary record's fine for a centre back. He is aggressive, but he's not reckless. So
yeah.
It's probably hard for those guys though that they have to commentate on every team, and it's pretty much impossible to stay with all the details of every club. So yeah, I get that it's hard. Yeah,
absolutely. It's like go on, sorry.
Also, it does frustrate me. It's like, get it right. Just bet Tottenham. Yeah. Anytime that, it's the same with when you hear the narrative of outside pundits that Levy never spends any money. It's like he does spend money, but people don't think it's the right way. That's the argument, not that he doesn't spend any money.
It's that he spent it wrong. But then I'd say, like, on that, I think most of our signings over the last 3 years have been right, and we're now starting to see some fruits of that. And it's taken a long time because he got so many wrong for so long.
And the only really sort of misses are guys that are young and still need development. Like, I think probably Tell's coming to be seen as a miss by a fair portion of the fan base, but I think he just needs time to become. He's 19, I think. So, like, he just needs time. Yeah,
we've got to give him time. Like, we're all very patient with Mikey Moore, who can't get a game. And Ross, to your comment earlier, like, should we save him? He's not playing for Rangers at the moment, and he was a player that we all said was good enough to be and should have been playing in multiple games last season, and we were questioning why he wasn't. But it's just it's so hard to plonk someone at that age into the most difficult division in the world. They're playing against absolute monsters at the absolute top of the game. They're playing against the most driven, physically advanced and strongest and, most composed people in the world who play the game. It's tough. They've got a lot to learn, but we've signed him because we know, give him that time and patience, and he can become something special. So, Tell is one. I think we'd all like to know what his position is, though, and it's not been particularly clear what that is, which has always led to criticism, because I can't figure out if he's playing out of position when he's playing up front, or if he just is struggling to fit in at the moment. Do you think he's a striker or a left winger?
I think every situation he's been in has been hard for him, because he was thrown into being a striker last season when we were not trying to win those games in the Premier League, just saving everyone for the Europa League. So he was set up to fail in a sense there. And kind of this season he was been there. He probably is a left winger because his crossing is so good. He really has a high level of cross. There's something about him that I really like. I think he seems to have a really good temperament, and I guess we just haven't seen him play in those sort of ones. Like he would have been playing against people his own age for what 90% of his career so far, which obviously when you're an elite player at that age, the drop off between some of the players is massive. And then he's at Bayern, where the league is just most of the teams comparatively to the Munich squad is a big drop off again as well. So he doesn't have to take up much of the workload and is a second thought. And then he's coming to such a different situation. Like the Bundesliga is a pretty physical league like the Premier League, but it is probably the most competitive league, the Premier League, from top to bottom. And
absolutely.
I don't know where. I'd be crazy to say if I knew where his best position is going to be, because I've seen him play a collective 300 minutes of football, probably just a little bit more than that. So it'd be impossible to say who or where he's going to fit, but he just needs time, and I hope he is given that. It was that sort of comment you brought up before of all those players' names. It's good that we have that many players' names on that list.
Yeah.
It's not like we've got 2 guys on that list that we're like, can we just give these couple of guys time? And we've got there was about 10 guys in there that were on that list of players that have a potential future. So, and if not, you're talking about this in the finance thing, if not, at least a decent salon fee. So they're worth sort of developing and giving time to. So we'll see where Tal gets to. But there's something about him that I like. And maybe that doesn't mean anything. Maybe that's not something that matters in football, whether Joe from Australia likes a player. Is that important to teams in the Premier League, whether I like them or not? What do you think?
I'm a bit unsentimental with players. I'm kind of like, I can be a bit overly.
You're ruthless.
I'm just like I don't dislike any, and I don't worship any. There's been a couple that I just couldn't wait to watch play, but when they left, I didn't take it personally. I've never felt taking it personally when a player's left. I never felt the need for them to have to like us back for me to enjoy watching them play.
I don't feel that either. Yeah, I don't. If people do this, it's fine, but I would never get a player's name on the back of my shirt. Maybe because I'm older than all the players now too. It feels weird having someone younger than me's name on the back. Maybe who's anyone above 36 in the Premier League? Maybe I can get Scott Carson's name on if he comes to Spurs. I'll get him.
Well, because having said that, actually, like Dawson and King were like when I was watching Spurs when I was younger. Like those were ones I think I did get on shirts. Because I loved them, and they were in my head they were proper Spurs and stuff. But I remember when I don't remember being that bothered when they ended up leaving. I remember being like, oh, I'm quite excited for who the next person is, and thanks, Dawes, loved you, you were great, and I hope you do well at your next place. But who's the next shiny, thing coming in? And it's really, I get really excited by change and new things, so I get less concerned about like Kane. I was kind of like when he was going, I was just like, what a player, but I can't be more excited to be rid of the circus in the media of every game being like it was the Harry Kane game. It was, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? It's like, can we just talk about the other players in the squad? Can we just like enjoy Tottenham again without always being about a player? And that bit of it, I was slightly relieved to see go. But then I did know that I might never see a player of his level replace him ever again. But
that's the part too. It does, like Kane made a difference to how good we were going to be, obviously. And if the player's really good, you're like, I want them to stay. But I mean, I don't remember ever really caring that Bale left that much because of how much money we were getting. And at that time, when Bale left, it was like 80 million made a massive difference. We signed 7 players of 80 million. Now you could probably, I mean, you can obviously amortization, not getting the nuance of it, but it's not that many players anymore. But it does make you, obviously losing Kane makes your team weaker. So that's really the only time I think about it. I don't get upset with players having a career and not being Spurs fans and stuff like that. However, I do hate Eze now, but that's different.
Yeah, I don't like Eze. He always, I know people said he felt very Tottenham, and hey, Holly, I'll be on Holly's show on Monday. So looking forward to seeing you there, Holes.
Nice.
And anyone tuning in, come check us out. I think 7 p.m. we'll be on there. So yeah. But yeah, it's where was I going with that? Where were we going with that? What were we saying? I got completely distracted there.
Said he was a Spurs
Eze.
player.
He always felt Arsenal to me. He always just his whole vibe seemed way more Arsenal.
You were right,
than Spurs.
mate. You were 100% right. Yeah, it's funny. I like 2 weeks ago, I was like, let's not talk about him because he's not going to come to us. And then like a week later, I was like, yeah, he's coming to us. And then now I'm like, he's not. What a terrible person he is. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've.
Also just a quick thank you to everyone who's put up my polls and liked the video. It's really kind of you. Really appreciate the support of the show. There's been some great growth lately, but we're going to ramp up the live shows, and we'd love to get the audience numbers up as well on these. That'd be great. I think where we really need your help is kind of just like the way the YouTube algorithm works is there's obviously a few massive players in the space, and that sucks in obviously everyone. And we'd like to give people the chance to try us out and see if it's something they would prefer. Hopefully, like you do, hopefully. The only way we can do that is by putting the likes in, and from you guys and girls and people all sharing the video in your socials with other people, or mentioning us to other people in chats and other videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just want to say thank you very much, because really do appreciate it. And also, if you want to talk to any of us, like on the panels, and be involved with the podcasts and ask questions and things, feel free to hop in our Discord, and I'll pop it in the chat now. And what I would do just for you guys tuned in now is I will remove the application form for this invite. So anyone who applies now will just get automatically in, as long as they use the link in the next 24 hours. And I'll put it in now. So yeah, do we want to do anything else in terms of the City game? Should we look forward into what's ahead?
Let's look forward. I'll just mention how good I thought Bentancur was again. I think he's been getting the fly-outs from that game. Everyone else has been mentioned, but he was amazing. Spence was really good. Dick was good. Porro was good, other than that little header. But I think that just everyone was really good. So what a great game. And who we got next? Bournemouth. That's one whole week of preparation too. That doesn't seem good news for Bournemouth with how Frank's been setting up against teams. Yeah, it's
I'm quietly excited for that game. Oh, I've got to say, we've got 2 free tickets to give away for that game. If you want to go to the game, if you want to go to the game, we've got 2 premium seats from Richard, who so kindly gave us to us. So these are like amazing seats. Like I was tempted just to give away my seats so I could sit in those seats, because they are just like so good. And to get them, all you have to do is I'm going to basically export all of our Discord users after tomorrow's podcast, and randomly choose 2 people choose someone to take the 2 tickets so they can have a +1. So if you want to do that, just hop in there. It'd be good to do that. And I thought you needed a CRM, but you don't, Ross. So you are absolutely fine, mate. I've been sent. I don't think you do anyway. But anyway, we'll figure that out. Win the tickets first and worry about that bit later.
I have a CRN, but unfortunately, I cannot attend. If someone like me who's not there wins, are you going to go and just hold an iPad up and just...
Do you know what I'll do?
Call them?
Just join the Discord to win, like to be a part of the draw, basically. You know what I'll do? If someone can't go, I can't do this endlessly until someone can go. But if I pick the first person and they can't go, I will send them, courtesy of Oso Spurs, official. Well, I'll buy them an official Spurs shirt from the Spurs shop. How about that? And
big,
then
mate. That's big.
Second person goes to the tickets, but I can't just keep going shirt until I get to someone. If the second person can't, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
kind of funny to do that, but
Yeah.
just because, we would be a nice thing to do. And Ross,
I'll give
you're always welcome
I'll
on,
give
mate.
Ross my tickets. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll give
you're
Ross
always,
my tickets if I win.
yeah. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to do that. So the link's in there. I'll post it once more, and feel free to join if you want. I see some people joining in now anyway. But anyway,
Yeah.
the future. So we've got links to Paz, Savinho. Should we start with Savinho? Because Man City,
Yes.
Savinho, he wasn't in the squad. He's injured, as Dr. Evil would say with that like expression thing. And I always think deals are likely real if your manager's getting asked in a press conference and they can't shut it down beyond the player's happy. They can't say he doesn't want to go. They just go, the player's happy. And then the players ask directly and they just ignore it. Like, to me, that is no smoke without fire. There's something going on somewhere. But what do you make of all the links there? Do you see this one as real? Are you less optimistic than me? Do you think it's someone we need?
I mean, he'd be fantastic in our squad. I think he really fits. The only concern I have is the sort of rumors that City want a replacement to sell him. I think they're trying to drive up the fee to basically cover what 90, well, not 90%, but obviously, well, it's easy to work out 70% of what they would pay for Rodrigo. But that seems like a really hard one to do. But they don't need him in terms of squad numbers. They've got heaps of players that can play on the left wing. So I don't know. I don't think because we beat them and perhaps still annoyed about Kane that they won't sell to us, because I think this game business is ruthless and all about money at the end of the day for the hierarchies within clubs. And if we offer them £70 million, I don't think they can turn it down. And it seems like we're going to offer that much money. It seems like we're going to have a new record transfer fee. Do you think he's worth being a new record transfer?
Like, I'm with the view of transfers that if they make us better, we can afford them, and they're good enough to handle the extra pressure that comes with a big price tag. Like, to me, like, for example, Slanky wasn't worth what we paid in my head, but he makes us better and he's a good player. So I'm fine that we paid 60 million quid and we can afford him. It doesn't mean like we signed Slanky so we couldn't sign someone else, and he makes us better. So I'm kind of the same with Savinho. I think he's probably a 50 to 60 million pound player that we're going to end up paying 70 or 80 for, but we can afford that, and he's going to make us better, and he's going to increase the chance of Spurs doing well. And I don't think he'll be bothered by that tag and that big fee against his name. So put this way, I'd rather him than we end up with no one and said, you know, there was just no one available for them. It's not like we're signing a rubbish player. We're signing a good player, but paying a bit more than they're worth, not paying lots of money for a rubbish player. So I'll be fine with it personally.
I think City are doing a good job of bringing the price up. I think they should be proud of that, I guess. What if you were the chairman, Langer, Levy, involved in this deal, what would be your max you would go to? You have a decent grasp of the financial situation. What's your limit?
It depends on the structures of the deal, like how much is up front. But like, I think the absolute max fee I want to see tagged against this guy's name is 80 million. Absolute max. Even then, I think it's high. I was thinking like 70, and that's overpaying, but I'll be okay with it. But 80
Pounds?
is like max. Yeah, absolute max. Yeah. But that's still high.
I think 80
not worth that.
80's pushing it a fair bit. I mean, players have gone for more than that are worse, like Anthony. But it does seem to be sort of a limit when you start to get to crazy numbers to players. It does weigh on them a lot. And like if he came for 80 million and came in and didn't score in the first 3 games, there would be, every club has them, the group of fans that just seem to hate the club will be on him. So, but I guess that's same for £70 million. But I feel like £70 million is a good number for what, because we want someone that in our squad that plays left wing, but is also super creative like he is. Like he does create a lot of opportunities. Really good dribbler, young, 21, isn't he? has a lot of potential to go up. I don't think he's ever going to go over that value though. Like if we're buying him for £70 million, we're not buying him to sell him for a profit.
No,
I just think that should be a good indicator to where the club's at. If we do spend that much money on him, we're not just trying to turn over a player. We're trying to make the squad and the team better. So hopefully if we do that, then for once the club get credit, even though they do some good things, even though the narrative is they never do good things. But do you think he's going to come? Do you think it'll end up happening?
I think if one comes, it'll be that one, because Fabrizio Romano's just tweeted.
He keeps talking about it.
Well, he said Tottenham
never stops.
Well, it's just breaking now. Tottenham bid €70 million for Nico Paz, and it's been turned down tonight. Paz wants to stay at Como because he sees his future as with Real Madrid, who have a clause to buy him back for €10 million next season.
Yeah, that 10 million just makes it nearly impossible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point where these rumors, one-off rumors, I don't believe really anymore. The ITKs are dying. Their validity is getting less and less every. But Savinho, is it Savio or Savinho? Is that N irrelevant in his name?
Yeah, I don't know. I keep seeing people use each. Maybe someone in the comments confirm. Is he Savio or is he Savinho?
I've seen people use both in the same sentence. So who knows? Anyway, Savinho, will confirmed here. I don't know where I was going with that now. I got distracted by his name.
Do you know what I think we're going to end up with? And I just want to shout to Victor, by the way. Thank you for supporting. This is the biggest way someone can support the show, is being a member, because we don't chase total subscribers. We chase quality subscribers on the show. We'd rather have 1,000 paying members than 100,000 subscribers, and then every month have to try get more subscribers' attention by doing clickbait, making up nonsense, and just doing endless transfer specials. We'd rather do focused content on the real stuff, good quality stuff. But that means we can't play the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. So we'd rather have high quality content for people who value that. So thank you very much, Victor, for supporting the show. And I hope you enjoy some of our members only content that's in there, like our pod we did with Flav Bateman recently at the Fighting Cock. That was really good fun to record. But yeah, I think we'll people keep saying this is crazy, but I don't think it is. I think we'll get Savinho over the line, and there's a chance on deadline day, just alone, for Rodrigo comes off, just alone. And people have said this, he's third choice behind Vinicius and Mbappe. He's desperate to be starting in a World Cup year. Man City only want him on a permanent basis. I just feel like he doesn't want to leave Real Madrid. So going to Spurs, playing in the Champions League as like their star of their team for 1 year in a World Cup year, knowing you've got a pathway back to Madrid and potentially forcing your way back in the side, just doesn't seem that crazy to me. And I think we'd rather get a long-term option. But considering Paz isn't happening and Eze isn't happening, I think we'll look at something like that and just say we've got to get something in. And he's world-class. So, yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts.
I don't disagree with your logic that a loan could be a good option for him. I just don't see us having Savinho and him and Odebear and Tal. It just kind of, I suppose he plays a lot on the right wing, doesn't he, Rodrigo? But yeah, I don't think I'd like that, to be honest. I think alone, I guess it helps us for the Champions League season to get in the Champions League again, which is very important for us in the long term, is to have Champions League football next year. But and he could end up doing a tell and really like it here and be like, oh, there's nowhere else I want to be than Tottenham, and we can reduce the fee. But we need a 10.
Yeah.
Or someone can play the 10 to 8 like Paquetá, but I don't see that as a realistic option, because we can't get 2 players from West Ham in a window,
No.
and they're terrible. They would be 100% relegated, I think, if he leaves.
Oh yeah, the consequence. They're almost the thing is them. They're so bad they can't afford to sell him.
Yeah.
No, that
And yeah,
Pletty goal,
and he'll go for cheap. He'll
Yeah.
go for cheap next year if they get relegated, so he can have the pick of pretty much wherever he wants to go. To an extent, he's not high-end elite, but I think because he can play that sort of 8-10, that gives White sort of the role, it would sort of suit us. And then with Maddison coming back, but Madison's starting to get old now too. Like, it's some really bad timing in his career to have that injury happen. But I'm sure he can have another good season at least at the high level. But I just can't see that would work. I think that they would, especially with Potter and Basuma having a history. They were the same time, weren't they? Yeah, they were at Brighton. And he could give it, because their mobility in their midfield at West Ham is terrible. Souček and Ward-Prowse is just...
Oh, yeah.
They run like 3 kilometers less than the teams they're playing against so far.
It's mental. Yeah.
So, yeah, it might work, but it would. He's good. So he would sort of fit into our squad perfectly, but I just can't see it happening.
Yeah. And
but it is funny to... sorry, I was going to pick on West Ham a bit more. I was just going to say how it's funny how bad they are.
It is, because
we don't play long till we play them, so it's great.
Yeah, I actually would love to be playing them next. I would actually love to be playing this because I think it's perfect. I feel like they're at that stage where you want to play them before the manager inevitably gets sacked, and they go on a little bit of a bounce. But right now is a good time to play them for sure. Pletty goal, I think it's fair enough to mention his stuff because he's pretty good on the Bundesliga news and knew a lot about the Kane transfer. He's saying Hincapié has asked to leave by Leverkusen now, and 60 million euros gets him done. Controversial, I actually think another defender, old school here, building from the back, is more important for our season than another midfielder. And we need both. Absolutely need a centre-back, a full-back, a left wing, and a 10 if you want to have a complete squad that's capable of competing on all fronts. Probably could say that. But I think an injury to Van der Ven, or resting him, is very likely multiple times this season. We can't have the drop-off of going to Takai, because apparently Davies is seen as a fullback. Or, playing Danso and then being one injury away from, again, going to Gray at right centre-back. I think you've got to sign a defender there. And he can play in the wing-back position as well. So I think he just covers 2 really important roles. And then if you go get Savinho in and you get Hincapié in, I know it's a bit gutting we don't have a natural 10, but you can still pass forwards. We've seen it in the last 2 games. You'll still be all right. You're still good enough to break teams down. The 10's almost like the luxury kind of like final piece to a great side.
Yeah.
You don't have to have one to get into the top 6. You have to have one to win titles. That's how I look at it. So
yeah. Hincapié, I do not want to say if I want him or don't want him, because I have never seen him play 1 minute of football. Just what you want from your content streamers to say, I've got no idea what I'm talking about. But I do know that he can play 2 positions, which would fit our squad needs. Mm-hmm. But I actually do want someone that has a last name ending in O, so we can have Vicario, Porro, Danso, Romero, and then someone else ending with O play at the same time, just for fun. So I think that's as much as I know about Hincapié. But he seems to be, in terms of people's opinion, split completely. Some people say that he's perfect for us. Some people say that they don't rate him. I don't know. I can watch highlights, but highlights on a defender does not work. It's pretty much the other stuff. You want to watch the stuff where it's not highlights, where it's like, where are they positioned when the ball is elsewhere, those kind of things. And it's really hard to watch highlights on defenders. You really have to watch a full game of Leverkusen to do it. So, I'll leave that opinion on to someone else. At least I'm honest, hey?
No, I quite agree. And just shout to Sean, thank you very much for the donation, supporting the show as always, Shawnee, one of our long time brilliant members as well. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I agree. When all these players, and you look at their compilations, they're so misleading because in football, if you're brilliant for, let's say you're a goalkeeper, if you're brilliant for 85 minutes, but every game score 2 own goals in the last 5, you're rubbish. So it's the same with all players. It's like consistency is everything. It's like you'd rather have a player who's a 7 out of 10 consistently and never makes mistakes and is always solid than someone who's a firecracker and then like a Balotelli.
Yeah.
So, and you could make a lot of players look fantastic when you look at the highlight reels, but it's often what they do that's boring and goes unnoticed that makes a player so good. And what they don't do is actually what defines a player. The mistakes they don't make defines a player as much as the good passes that they do make. So, and good tackles that they make. So, yeah, quite agree.
There's a player I have seen play is Al Canoes, and his highlights look good, but I do not want him at all. So,
why do you not want him?
I don't know. I just don't think he's that good. As an all-round player, I mean, even he scored against us last season, but which is a pretty good finish too, actually. But I just don't think he fits into our sort of player mold that we're looking for at the moment. Yeah, he doesn't do. That's pretty much it. So, and yeah, it's actually his stats are terrible. Well, his stats, and if you look at his FB ref, it looks really, really bad.
Yeah.
But he did play for Leicester, who only beat teams that were around them last year.
I think Akiush is a better option, personally.
He seems fun.
I actually would have ranked them as all those three, Eze, Akiush, and not El Kudus, Eze, Akiush, and Paz. I put them all in a similar park in terms of they've all got massive pros and cons. So Eze is the Premier League proven, but I've got reservations about his ability to track back, about his forward passing. I think he'd improve us, and I'd have 100% taken him. But I've got reservations about him not being perfect for us. And I think people would initially meet him with great excitement, and then things would settle down, and they'd go, I mean, he's good, but he's just not doing it every week. And I thought he did this every week. And it's like, no, there's a reason why he was still at Palace at 27. He's good, and he's a standout player for a side like that, and he'll be good for Arsenal, but he's not going to be a worldie. You never know, though. Obviously, we've been proven wrong loads in football. He might do, and then the others are Paz is he could go on to be something enormous, or he could go on to be nothing. It's so hard to judge when they're playing at Como. I never thought it was realistic anyway.
Yeah, I think that contract thing again. I mean, not really saying how much anyone wants him because it's kind of irrelevant because he can play for Real Madrid next year basically for free.
Exactly.
10 million for Real Madrid is a rounding error.
For the biggest club in the world. Why would you Spurs are huge, but Real Madrid is the biggest club in the world. Why would you? Yeah. Whereas Akiush, I pronounce it. Do you know League One is by far the biggest is where Premier League is the biggest. Some of it, talent transfer is the biggest because supposedly there's whoever figures this stuff out, you've got a higher hit rate buying from League One. So it's a bit of I'm trying to wrap my head around with examples of that, and I keep coming up with flops in my head. But anyway,
and Dombele.
Yeah, but it does seem like it's the right balance of young, some experience, kind of know what you're getting, and you're not up against unrealistic competition. I guess the tough thing is it's he's in Monaco. Does he want to move to England? Very different lifestyles. I don't know what his priorities are in life and stuff and how much money he's earning, but I think he's one I could more see. But I'm getting more time goes on. I'm thinking we're going to end up this window with a defender and a winger and not a 10.
Yeah, potentially. He could he has the dual position winger / 10 ability. So he kind of does fit that players coming back from injury thing too. You could be right though, because I mean, a defender in does give us that safety of making sure we can rest Van de Ven and Romero, even in Premier League games, because we need to rest them in Premier League games too, because we need them to play Champions League.
Yeah.
If we're going to be serious about getting out of the group stages and getting to a decent level, because I mean that brings in a lot of money, and sort of Spurs need to be back on the map in terms of Europe, in terms of drawing players in again. I mean, obviously we just won the Europa League, but when we were consistent, being consistent in the Champions League over the last decade, apart from the last sort of couple of years, has given us that sort of international known platform where we're thought of in that higher echelon. Everyone costs that much money now.
That's what I feel like.
Potential.
Anyone that we deem good enough for us is probably going to start. If you're in the crowd of they move the needle now, they're good enough for the first team. Unless they're in some desperate, weird circumstance where they have to leave their club for some bizarrely low fee, like Paz and Real Madrid, like they're going to be a minimum of 50 million, a minimum for us. So unless you,
and that's that's the circles we're fishing in, isn't it? The waters we're fishing in at the moment is that player that does move the needle, and that's where we should be. We shouldn't be at these El Canoes levels for 30 million. I know that play valuations can be wrong. There's been plenty of players that have gone for way too much money than what their ability is, but there's also, I was going to say that, I mean, lots of players come through for less money too. Yeah. I wonder if what the actual correlation between spend on a player and their actually output is, whether it does line up for more money gets you a better player.
Yeah. I think the data shows it doesn't really work like that way in the Premier League, does it? It's more about wages than it is about the transfer
Premier
fee.
League would be an anomaly because of the fact that it's the Premier League and it makes the most money as a league, and then the players, the other clubs from other leagues will be like, well, we're going to milk this as much as we can. So obviously the fees are sort of overblown a little bit, because you don't see these happening in Italy, but some players still want to go to a lot of clubs in Italy. Like a lot of clubs in Italy still have a decent pool for those players that are either young or just sort of more comfortable not in English speaking or England. I think some places don't want to go to England, to be honest.
There's that as well.
Stay on the continent. So, I mean, obviously Real Madrid, Barcelona can spend a lot of money. Munich can spend a lot of money, but Milan's and Juventus's and Napoli's and Roma's, they can still draw some decent players. So and their prices aren't as inflated as the Premier League. So
yeah,
I don't know. It could be, but I think a lot of fans want us to spend a high amount of money to make it look like we're trying.
It's part of that as well.
Yeah,
it's reassurance that we mean business, isn't it?
Yeah,
is a massive part of it. I'm just putting the Discord link, on the bottom of the X post as well. If you're looking, you want to enter the prize draw. I realised I've only put it up for the YouTube one, and 80% of our viewers are on X right now. So I just put that up there. There you go. It's in the bottom of the video, I believe now. Yeah, it is. There you go. So I hope to see 450 of you all joining the group now. So yeah, see you in a second. But yeah, it's should we move on to Bournemouth then? I think we've got
let's touch on Bournemouth.
We'll learn a lot more about the transfers over the coming week. We have to. We've got long left now. We've got 9 days, don't we? So yeah, Bournemouth. So lineup wise, I don't think we lined up against City as many expected. We've got a spot on. Do you think it will just be do you think he'll rotate the midfield again? Or do you think he'll just go straight back in with Paulinho, Sarr, and Bentancur? Or would he go back with Gray again?
It'd be interesting. I think part of it, he wanted to give Bergvall and Gray minutes. It was very close to the Super Cup. And obviously, first game of the season being the Super Cup, and people were tired in that game. So I think part of it was that giving them minutes and making them feel like they're part of the squad. First game of the season, it's like, oh yeah, we are part of this, the plan for this team. We're starting the first Premier League game. I think that would probably psychologically make a big difference for Graham Bergvall. But this game, with having the week's rest, he's probably got no need to rotate at this stage. Not sure, do we have another week after? Is it one more week before the international break?
No, this is it. This is it after this game.
Yeah.
That's why I was a bit annoyed, because Arsenal got lucky, because Odegaard and Saka both got 2 to 3 week injuries, and they're going to miss one game and they'll be back after the international break. I was just like, very
and then have to go on international break.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like literally like it couldn't be a more fortunate time. If that was our players, you'd be like, well, we're kind of lucked out there in a bit of a weird way. Although they got Liverpool next, so they're going to struggle with that. Anyway, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if how Solanke has a chance to force his way back in, because like you can't drop a striker when they're on that form. You got to keep starting your main man, right? So Richie's going to go straight back in.
Frank basically said that too. He's like, he's an informed player now. It's his number to lose, or his shirt to lose. So yeah, I think Richie will be playing. Kudos will be playing. Interesting to see what he does on the left wing. Even if we bring someone in by that period, probably come off the bench. The interesting one will be the midfield. I think Sar's a lock. You think Sar's a lock? Probably first name on the sheet.
Yeah. I think he's got to go full strength. You can't risk. It's such a fine balancing man. You've got to develop these young players, but I think there's going to be plenty of times to rotate during the busier part of the season. But right now, but then you set yourselves up for a worse busy season if you don't give people minutes in advance. You just end up chucking them in when they're not match fit. God, it isn't easy. That's why these managers earn the big bucks. But I think you've got to keep that winning momentum going, don't you, into the national break? You've got to keep
Bournemouth are going to play on the break still with speed and power. That's how they like to play. And having Polina in there to break that up, I think, is important. So I feel like he will play. It could be Bergvall for Bentancur maybe, but he played so well against City, and there's no need to rotate with them. But I feel confident about this game. Savinho is still a really good player. I'm not as worried about Bournemouth this season as I was last. They've lost a fair few good players from their squad, and I don't think the style of play they have is just long term always going to be successful. I guess it's kind of like Ange's 5th season versus 17th, that it's a demanding style of football to play, and it's got so many sort of variables that can go wrong, where Frank's really tries to work on reducing those variables in terms of play. So I'm confident that we'll get the win on this game. It's just, and it's also too, every single game we've played so far, we've had a different setup.
Yeah,
we played differently. So, which is, I love that so much, that it's like exciting to see who's going to be on the team sheet, which way we're going to set up, what we're going to do to counter what they do and to exploit what they do, their weaknesses. How are you feeling towards that game?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty okay about it. Yeah, I think there'll be a tougher opponent than Burnley for sure. Like it'll be, this will be like City. I'm gonna say this will be like, I think like we'll remember, like we're in this cloud 9, like, oh, we're gonna smash everyone. I just can't see how we're gonna lose a game. Kind of feeling at the moment when you're playing like that, you're just beating City. But as Frank said, we will lose games. Is that how his accent was? We will lose games. That was definitely not the right Danish accent.
Perfect.
Anyway,
it's perfect, mate.
Yeah. Okay. I think this will be a bit of a like, whoa, okay. So like, because I think there was moments where Burnley broke through and a better side would have scored against us, and we'd have still won the game, but it should have been like 3-1 Spurs, not 3-0. I think that kind of flattened us a bit. And I think against Bournemouth, it'll be one where like, whoa, okay, we do need to be a bit careful here. If we rotate overly that midfield, I think he'll bring on the big guns in the second half, and we'll end up winning it through bringing them on. But if we start with our best players, I think we'll win. But it'll be like by a goal. It won't be by like 2 or 3, like just breezing past them. But equally, just by the way we've been lately, we wouldn't be surprised if we came out with 4 or 5-0. But I wouldn't be surprised with a 1-0 win or a draw. But I think we'll win. I think we'll win, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be like 1 goal. And I'll take that. It's the game's about consistency. Most games on a weekend are defined by a goal. And whenever you go, and I think the most dangerous ones are often the ones you go in and you're like, we're gonna do really well today. I'm so confident I could whack my mortgage on this one. I know we're gonna do it. Those are always the ones that you're like, what on earth? Like this is supposed to be easy, because you're playing against a really good Premier League side that are capable of beating anyone. But we got the better players, we got the better manager. We're at home.
Yeah.
So I think if we played this game 10 times, we win 9. But hey, that 1 in 10 has got to happen. So
it does happen a lot.
And it does happen.
It has more than 1 in 10 times too. It's just the beauty about football.
I'd say it's probably like 3 in 10, isn't it? So
yeah. I mean, it's Premier League. It's a Premier League side. But I really want another clean sheet though. I really hope we get another clean sheet and have 3 for the start of the. I think that really sort of lays it down for the season, and where other sort of teams will see us in terms of our threat is if having 3 clean sheets in a row.
Yeah,
would be great, because I think we can score. We've got good goal scorers in our team. We've proven 5 goals in the first 2 games and 0 conceded, and not even that many big chances. Do you know what? I just started to think about this then. I think XG is stupid. Who's making that up? Who is there's like, we just like trust that the data that they're getting is correct and that they're not messing it up, whoever's creating these XG is. Like, do you know what? ChatGPT lies all the time. So why does this data collection or these stats just, they're perfect? Because City were the better team according to XG, weren't they, in this one? But clearly to me, we were the better team and we deserve to win. I don't trust these people that are coming up with this. Is someone sitting there watching the game being like, that chance is worth this amount of points? Is that how they're collecting the data?
It's massively flawed. Of course it is. Like you take it with a pinch of salt. It's like it's a metric that if you use with several other metrics gives you a good indication of how things have gone. If you take it in isolation, like all stats, you can, manipulate it to paint a different story. And it, like the whole big flaw with XG is if you're running through 1-on-1 with an open goal and you just stand there with the ball on the line, arms crossed, and all you have to do is tap it in, and you stand there for 5 minutes and just refuse to tap it in, you get 0 XG. Despite standing in front of an open goal with a ball, just need to if you don't kick it towards that goal and have the shot, it's 0 XG. But if I shoot from my own goalkeeper's goalkeeping area and just have a random pop shot that ends up going and doesn't even, goes out for a throw, I'll get an XG point of some kind because I had a shot. Like, so, but which one was more likely to result in a goal? Like, it's just, there are inherent flaws in it. It's more like a posh shots on target and off target. That's all it really is. It's just like shots on target, but how were those good shots on target? That's all it really is. And were those shot off target really off target or a little less off target? And it just gives you an indication of that. But it's massively flawed. And if you take,
I really want to know how they're collecting the data though. I really want to know who's deciding. Is it literally some software that's watching the game and deciding it? Because I don't think I can't see how that would work. So if it's someone sitting there, it's just what someone thinks is a good chance versus not a good chance. Yeah. And then anyway, got a bit lost in the weeds in there. I've just been thinking this for like a few weeks now. I've just been thinking it's just anyway. Got it off my chest.
Well, should we go to score predictions then?
Yeah.
For the game. Go on, you go first then.
And
let us know your score predictions in the comments as well.
Yeah.
And I want goal scorers for Spurs
as
well. Yeah.
2-0, I'm going to go with. And Johnson again.
We'll go over everyone else's after this. Go on.
I'll just give everyone a chance to answer it. Speaking of, when I rewatched the mini match of the City game, you could only hear Spurs fans. Literally every single time that it changed, you could only hear Spurs fans. It's funny they already had. But Spurs fans are always really good at games. It is good to hear on the TV.
They are loud.
Anyway, you got a chance to answer your scores then. 2-0 Spurs. Johnson scores again. And let's put Bentancur header. He's actually fairly decent.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Corner and Johnson in. Just getting behind again. Yeah, that's my ones. You already got yourself. What have you got?
2-1 Spurs. I don't think we'll keep the clean sheet this time. I think we'll go 1-0 down against Savinho, and everyone will be like, "Oh, what? Whoa! I thought we were invincible."
Goals?
And
what?
then, we concede. Whoa! What happens there? But then I think we'll come back, and I think it'll be Rich Allison and Johnson for the 2 goals with a kudos brace of assists. About that.
Nice.
Go over the people's in the comments, and just this will be we'll finish off with going through your predictions on the show. But just remember, if you want to enter the prize draw for 2 premium tickets for the game we're talking about, they are awesome seats in the premium zone that I'm very jealous of. All you have to do is join our Discord, and I will choose a random person in there. So if you're watching on X, I've put the little comment under this video, so you can go on it there, and I've pinned it to the comments of this if you're watching it on YouTube. So there you go. Let's go through some of the score predictions. I think I saw 7-2 from Ross kicking it off. Is that right? I
Ross
think
has never been wrong either.
3-1 from Kamal. 7-2 from Ross. 3-0 from Will. I wonder who the goal scorers are, though. 3-1 Spurs. Semenyo will score 1 goal. Tell hat-trick. Bentancur, Porro, and Kudos goal scorers there. And don't get cocky. What's this comment? Don't get cocky, says Adam. There's nobody against Prem. I quite agree. Robert says 2-0. Yeah, so mostly everyone's going for Spurs wins. But I think I'm on the 2-1 train. I think it's going to be defined by a single goal. But yeah, finally. How long has it been since we won a game before an international break? Must be like a year.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I'll just take that feeling of winning again for an international break and actually being able to go to bed wanting to consume Tottenham content rather than avoid it. So
yeah, because you make it. That's why you've got to make it.
That is true. It was like being in a mass recession after every international break. Last season. Does anyone want to talk about Spurs? Nope.
Not yet.
Definitely not. No,
We're sick of them. Yeah.
Well, unless you want to shout about them.
Yeah. We need a good year this year, mate, for the algorithm at least.
Oh, shout out to we've got another member today.
Hey, Andy.
Good to see you, Andy, mate, and thanks for supporting the show. As I said, members, you are the lifeblood of the show. We don't chase 100,000 views in a vid. We chase high quality content for people who enjoy that stuff, and we rely on members to make it all possible. So thank you very much, Andy. Look forward to hopefully seeing you in the Discord or the members WhatsApp group. You'll get access to the members WhatsApp as well when you join. There should be the link in there. Anyway, Jay, I think we'll wrap up, shall we?
Finish it off.
Cool. Well, I think we always finish with a "Come on, you Spurs."
Yeah, let's do it.
Come on.